So, with my revisions to my first book coming out very soon, I figured I'd do some patch notes, I guess, for this book and why they're being changed. First, the one that I've been saying, I'm changing it so that William is in officer's training and not just immediately a first mate because I figured that makes a bit more sense. Changed some of the wording for how Olivia talks to him about it so that it's not just immediately thrusting all this uh, responsibility on him, and it's more like, hey, you have the potential to be a good leader. Let's get you there. Secondly, both of the Furel chapters are completely rewritten from start to minus a couple scenes from start to finish. This was because I wanted to both introduce a character much earlier in the story and because I wanted to show that the Soulless are a bit more of a threat than we've been seeing. And I also needed to tie up a loose end from the very start of the story that I didn't do before. So, Xanarus is a character that shows up in the first three chapters of the book. He shows up in the first book, he gets William to safety in the first chapter, gets blown out of the sky and then rescued by William, and then kind of disappears after this. And in the original story, he did not show up again. I decided, I was like, well, he's going to be on Furel because that's where he came from in the first place, and it would make that whole loop tied up as like, okay, we know where he is, we know he's probably fine. Second is a character that, if you've read the book, you may or may not remember, named Leanne. Leanne is somebody who's going to be a major player in some of the coming stories, but only ever shows up for three chapters. And I wasn't a fan of that. So I pulled her a little bit earlier in the story and had her be a more key player in the Furelian conflict so that she has a bit more screen time and we get to know her a little bit better before she has her part to play in the next story. Finally, this last one I think is just a cool detail is the city that they actually go to because the temple that they're going for is no longer in William's just hometown miraculously. The city that they go to find this town is the same city that the main character of the second book, Dahlia, dies protecting at the start of the second book. Some other conversations were changed and adjusted slightly throughout the rest of the book to kind of adjust for these changes. Nothing too major except for Leanne's reintroduction much later in the story. But yeah, either way, revisions are finished. I'm going to finish polishing those up and then I will get them posted and let you know where to find them. So, yeah.